In 2023, I ran a 2:56 marathon in Tokyo. Almost 3 years later, that's still my marathon PB. And now that I'm 46, I fear that my fastest marathons are now behind me, but I'm willing to give it one more go on one of the fastest courses in the world. This is Chasing Ghosts, Valencia Marathon Training, Episode 2. Yo, what's going on? Kofuzi coming to you from my backyard here in Crystal Lake for the next installment of my Valencia Marathon Training Series, Chasing Ghosts. In the first episode, we ended at week 4 and a very busy weekend spectating the Chicago Marathon. And in this episode, over the next 4 weeks, we'll be continuing to try and thread that needle of keeping the intensity up, keeping the mileage up, while also trying to avoid the two evil eyes of illness and injury. We're gonna have to manage one more international trip, plus a lot of other personal travel, and also my first cross-country race since the 90s. Let's get started with the training in week 5. Yesterday was an unscheduled rest day, but it's something that I really needed. My legs were incredibly sore and I was feeling also a bit under the weather because 2 days ago was the Chicago Marathon and it was a busy weekend, a fun weekend. I didn't run the race, but I was chasing the pros around the course, trying to film them, and then also heading back onto the course to find some friends and cheer on everybody who was running. And so when I woke up yesterday, my legs just felt super crazy sore. And I had a bit of a sore throat, so I thought rest day would be good. Today, legs are feeling a little bit better, so I'm gonna try to get out there. I'm feeling much better in terms of sore throat and kind of the achy cold coming on kind of stuff. So we'll try and get some miles in. It's much cooler now, so I'm only going to bring one gel and no fluids with me. Wish me luck. All right, hitting the turn around at 5 miles. Feeling pretty good today. I am running really behind schedule today. Hopefully I can get this workout in, but I am gonna have to cut the warm up and the cool down a bit short. Today's gonna be a 6x6, a threshold. I'm not sure I'm feeling great either, so I'm just gonna be putting in like a B+ effort today. I don't think every workout has to be perfect. Today's gonna be one of those not perfect days. This B effort that I'm giving today actually feels really good, makes me feel strong. And I kind of suspected it all along, but I think pretty much this entire block I've been letting ego get in the way. I think I've been running this workout a little bit too hard for the intended benefit. So I think this is actually right where I'm supposed to be, regardless of if I like the pace that equates to or not. Just dropped my daughters off at each of their respective after-school activities for today, and I've got about 45 minutes, so I'm going to try to squeeze in some of the extra miles that I have to cut out from the warm-up and cool down today. My legs, though, feel very heavy and I do not feel like getting these miles in, but I'm gonna try and shuffle my feet for about 45 minutes.
That afternoon, I took the Asics Sonic Blast for my run, and normally I wouldn't pick that shoe for this kind of easy double. But I'd been testing out the Hoka Mach X3 earlier, and I wanted to have a fresh run in the Sonic Blast to see how close I really thought they were. And it turns out the Sonic Blast isn't that bad for this type of run, just as the Mach X3 would have been pretty good for this type of run. For me, anyway. Even if neither of those shoes is marketed as a recovery run kind of shoe.
Guys, I procrastinated way too much today, and so I'm gonna have to cut the run a bit short. I wanted to do 10 miles, but I only have about 75 minutes. It's gonna be a super busy day today. Let's get in what we can. Just at 38 minutes. Gonna turn around, head back. Finished a little bit more than 7.5 miles in 75 minutes. Forgot to take my gel. It is about 6:30 in the evening. Got everyone fed at home, and now I'm gonna try and add in a couple more miles that I didn't get to run earlier today. But I'm pretty sure with how the sun's been setting earlier and earlier now, these miles are gonna end in the dark. Particularly flustered today. I'm just getting worse and worse with time management. Today was supposed to be a long run day. I was hoping to get 17, maybe 18 miles. The day has, not completely my fault, but the day has gotten away from me. So I'm gonna have to switch my long run around, which is not ideal because it's been about like 10 or 11 days since my last long run. And so today would have been perfect, but now I'm gonna have to move it to Sunday. Instead today, hopefully I'll at least have time to get in some threshold repeats. Mentally, not in a good space starting out today. Physically, I'm tired. Next week will be a down week, and I'm hoping I can just hold on till then. These are so hard. Oh. It's just building calluses. Building calluses. That was hard. I probably worked that a little bit harder than I needed to. But today's a day where I needed to work a little bit harder than I needed to. Let's get in the car, head to Peoria.
That evening, we drove down to Peoria for the Illinois Middle School State cross-country race. Both the girls and boys team qualified, and coach had them all visit the course the day before to preview the course and do some stride outs from the starting line. And this year, the dads from the team decided to do a bit of a time trial on the course. The next morning, I ended up sleeping in a bit longer than I wanted to, and I only had time for a few miles on the treadmill. But then my wife told me that I actually had more time than I thought, so I just kept running. And then it was time to head over for the race. We had planned for a cold and muddy race morning, but it looked like the weather held off. The girls were returning all 5 scorers from last year's state team, so they were poised for a solid showing. The race went out hard, a bit too hard for my daughter, who always insists on leading the race out of the starting box, and she faded pretty hard in the second half. The rest of the team also had a tough day, but they all stepped up where it was needed, and the girls were able to bring home a top 5 finish. The boys also came in at top 10, which was impressive as they were more impacted by graduations this season. I've been watching these kids work their butts off for the last 4 seasons now, and I couldn't be more proud of them and thankful for the positive team culture that their coaches have curated.
It is a little bit after 8 a.m. here on a Sunday in Crystal Lake. Overnight, a pretty big storm has rolled through. Getting a little bit of a later start. I was hoping that the rain and wind would have eased up by now, but it seems like that's not going to happen today. It's going to be the first run of the season with gloves on. It's not really that cold. It's 50 degrees, but I think with winds, sustained rain, and hopefully 18 miles today, over time my hands might get cold, so I'm going to try to keep things warm as we go. I don't know if you could hear it, but those birds are chatty today. Okay, just hit the 9-mile mark. The rain has stopped and the wind seems to be dying down a little bit. I had a lot of headwind or side wind on the way up, so if there is wind, hopefully it gives me a little boost. Hands are very cold, but overall feeling not bad. I got about 4 miles left to go in this run, and it just feels like I'm cruising today, feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm ready for this run to be over, but overall, it just feels like I could do this for a real long time. I'm not pushing super hard, but I am going faster than easy pace, so it'd be nice to get in a good, solid, long run as I head into this next week, which will be a down week. Today I am in Annecy, France. I'm here with Solomon for the week. We're going to spend a couple of days here and then a couple of days in Paris. I have scheduled it so that way my marathon training, I'm in a down week, so that way I don't have to worry about trying to get a bunch of workouts and a ton of mileage in. But today the schedule is a little bit light because everyone's coming into town today. And so I have a little bit more time. So even though I ran a bunch yesterday, I had my long run yesterday, and then I hopped immediately on a plane, and my legs aren't feeling that great, I'm trying to get 10 miles in around Lake Annecy. It is gorgeous out there.
This was my first time in Annecy, but it all felt somehow very familiar. I was in Zurich last summer, and that is a city nestled in the corner of a namesake lake near the Alps. And a couple of years ago, I was in Geneva, and that is a city nestled in a corner of a namesake lake near the Alps. And it turns out that Annecy is also a city nestled in a corner of its own namesake lake near the Alps. And it's actually not that far from Geneva. So I guess it makes sense that it all felt familiar to me. Nevertheless, the views were gorgeous, and it's something that I'll never get tired of. The next morning, we went over to the Solomon Design Center at their global HQ. Eventually, I'll make a video specifically about this trip and everything we saw there. But for the purpose of this video, I want to tell you about the run. We were testing out a gravel shoe, so the route took us on some leafy forest paths down back into the city. They told us it was supposed to be about a 10K run, but it ended up being a bit longer than that. Wednesday, we were in Paris, and we went over to the Salomon showroom to learn about some new upcoming product in the gravel category. And for this run, we were testing another gravel shoe, but we were in Paris now, so there weren't a ton of trails for us to run on, but we did get to experience a variety of surfaces and grades. My last morning in Paris, there wasn't a scheduled group run, so I went for a run of my own. We were kind of near Montmartre and Sacré-Cœur Cathedral, so I decided to head up there. Paris is a pretty sleepy city, so the runners pretty much had the city to ourselves. And from the church, I ran past the Moulin Rouge. Just kidding, this is the Moulin Rouge. And then I returned to the hotel. When I met up with the group later that morning, we went to the Salomon flagship on the Champs-Élysées before heading to Art Basel.
But a sweet relief is finding me. There's no love under the portrait.
And then after a 2 short time there, I was off to the airport to return home.
I made it back from France late last night, but I'm still in a down week as far as marathon training goes. So today, even though I would normally be very flustered about getting my run started at this time of day in the afternoon, I've only got about an hour that I'd like to get in today, so I have plenty of time. So let's go a nice and easy run. Almost 4 miles in, gonna turn it around. Feeling really nice.
I don't wanna wait for you. I don't wanna.
Good morning. It is a little bit before 11 a.m. on a Sunday here in Crystal Lake. Yesterday, I took an unscheduled rest day because I was starting to feel a little bit under the weather, which typically happens after a big travel trip. And when I was in France, we were pretty much like a little bit cold and a little bit wet like the entire time, and those kinds of damp conditions definitely take a toll on me. So I rested yesterday, plus I had just a bunch of work that I needed to get done and a lot of personal family stuff that I wanted to do. So yesterday was a rest day. I'm not feeling much better today, but I feel like I can get in just some nice easy miles. Hopefully increasing the blood flow a little bit will help flush everything else out of the system on the last day of this down week. Just hit the 7-mile mark on this run, and I've been feeling great, so feeling very thankful for that. Hopefully it means next week will be good. So that brings us to the end of the down week, the end of week 6 of my 12-week Valencia Marathon training block. And I was really thankful that my body was able to hang on until I was able to make it so that my travel week could line up with my down week. But now that I'm back, I'm ready to get back to work. The question is my body? I'm still kind of fighting that cold, and I'm still hoping that I'm gonna be able to continue pushing into weeks 7 and 8 as I get ready for that peak week in week 9. Let's see how my body holds up, especially now the temperatures are starting to get really good for running. had a pretty terrible night of sleep last night. Felt pretty achy, but when I woke up today and actually got out of bed, I'm feeling good. So I'm gonna try and run again today. See how it goes. Just finished the run, felt pretty good. Managed to keep the heart rate low. Felt good, except for it was really windy out there. Feeling a lot better today. I'm going to try and tackle a long run. So today's workout is going to be 2-mile warm-up, maybe 1.5 mile warm-up, 10 miles at marathon effort, and then recover for a little bit, and then try to keep it a little bit faster than easy pace for the rest of the miles. Hopefully we'll end at 20 for the day. About 1.5 miles in, and so far until now it's been a little bit uncomfortable, but I think I'm getting into a rhythm now. So windy.
Onde a vida passar.
10 miles, marathon effort complete. That was hard. I don't think the paces are where I thought they'd be. I have 3 excuses. 1, headwind. 2, I think I'm still a little bit cold in terms of having a sickness. And 3, I do not love these shoes that I'm testing today. They are not meant for a runner like me. So it was fine, but it slowed me down, I think, a little bit and made things harder than they otherwise would have been. I'm gonna finish cool down a recovery of 1 mile, and then we'll add on a handful of miles to get my mileage for the day. Ooh, everything's locking up. Ow, ow, ow. I made it 18.3 miles today. Not bad. Wanted to hit 20. But body is not agreeing with me. Okay. Whew. Ow. Ow. All right, I'm gonna have to ride out this cramp and then walk the rest back. It's gonna be a long walk. Good morning. It is a little bit after 10 a.m. here in Crystal Lake. My legs are absolutely wrecked from yesterday's long run. Gonna take it really easy today, and I do have something fun to test out, these new Meta Oakley's. Just hit the turnaround for the run, feeling a little bit better than I thought I would today, so that's a plus sign. I'm also feeling a lot better in terms of my congestion and head cold. As far as these glasses go, they're fitting on the face really nicely, at least for this easy run. I will say though that they are big and a little bit heavy, and even though these are wraparound blade style sunglasses, there is a block of my peripheral vision on each side because of the hardware in the glasses, so not ideal. Good morning. I'm 2 days out now from the big long run, and my legs still pretty tired. So it's gonna be another easy run today. This route does have some hills in it, so I'm gonna probably regret picking this way later. Workout day today, 6x6 with 1-minute recoveries on the schedule. Temperature is very brisk, perfect for running hard. Legs are feeling not so great, and my route has a lot of electrical wire maintenance happening on it, so that's going to make things tricky. Kyle Leaf, Kafuzi, 1 on the season. All right, 2 down. Feeling surprisingly good today. Hope I didn't just jinx it. This one starting to feel really hard. That last one, it took forever. Getting a late start on my run today. Yesterday was Halloween, so slept in today a little bit, and then I wanted to hurry up and get my Chicago Runners Weekend video done because tomorrow is New York Marathon, and I thought it'd be nice for all the New York City marathoners, well, not all of them, the ones who watch my videos, to be able to go back to their hotels, put their feet up, rest, and watch a 30-minute video about running. So that took all morning to kind of wrap up. It didn't exactly turn out how I wanted to, but that's the nature of YouTube videos. You run out of time before you can make it as good as you'd like. But now, I'm just gonna go for an easy run today. Yesterday was a workout that went better than I was expecting. And so today, I'm gonna take it easy on myself and just put in some nice and comfy, cushy miles. Just finished the first loop around this park and the reservoir, and feeling pretty good. It's that time of year where shorts and a t-shirt feels a little bit warm. I could probably go with a singlet right now, but my hands are freezing cold and I wish I had gloves. So overall, I'm sweaty but cold. For me, when the miles are really starting to add up during marathon training, these days I'm trying to hit over 70 miles per week, which means there's a lot of just easy miles to run. I love to rely on audiobooks. Last week I finished Pierre D'Amato's book. This week I'm moving on to Nick Thompson's book. So that's 6.5 hours of audiobook to keep me company for my runs this week. Caught another leaf today. That's 2 on the season. First rep done. Oh man, daylight saving ended last weekend, and now it's only a little bit past 5 o'clock and the sun is already set. It is a warm day here in Crystal Lake. Going for an easy run. Had a pretty tough workout late in the evening yesterday, so a pretty quick turnaround for today. But I am still going to try and do an easy double today. In the morning we'll do 9 miles, and then hopefully I'll be able to get some treadmill miles over at the rock climbing gym later tonight.
That night at the rock climbing gym, while my daughter did some speed work of her own, I got in a little bit of a lift. I couldn't remember the last time it was leg day, so even though this was going to be a very high mileage week for me, I felt like I was overdue. Then I got in my miles on the treadmill to round out the day before I resumed my usual seat at the gym where I eat dinner and edit some videos.
I'm gonna try something new today. This is a route that I normally go on. It goes north and south. But if I turn off over here, that gets me over to Three Oaks, which is a recreational area in Crystal Lake. And there are some walking paths around the reservoir, but it doesn't go all the way around. They've been working on building out the path so it goes all the way around. I'm not sure if it's done yet. I know the town has sent some warnings to people who have been trying to run it before it's done, saying it's not safe to get out there, but I haven't heard anything in a while, so let's go check it out. Alright, so dead end here. They've been building more path all along that other side over there. Here's some of the new path that has been added. All the stuff over on this side is new. Made it pretty much back to the car. Cars are still over there. And I think there's going to be more trail that they haven't built yet that connects all the way around. But you can make it mostly all the way around already. Not bad.
Thursday was a long run day, and this was going to be a big one. The last long run was a botched 20-miler attempt that I had to bail at 18 miles due to cramping. So getting to 20 miles was the main goal for today. But as far as the workout portion for this run, I'd be doing 3 times 5K at marathon effort with 1K jog recovery. And between fluids and gels, I wanted to take in about 60 grams of carbs per hour.
Not bad for the first 5K. My legs are still very sore from the weights session 2 days ago. Was able to push a little bit harder while staying kind of at the same comfort level. So feeling good about that one. A little bit better One more to go. Ooh. All right, that was the best one. Feeling good. Yes, that was a good one. Miles complete. Feeling good, feeling good. Heading out for an easy run today on my Costco run loop. Legs are feeling understandably very tired after yesterday's 20 miler. It's really windy, and I'm hoping that with the way that this path is nestled through some of these neighborhoods and parks, that I'll get some relief from the wind.
Saturday, my daughter was competing in the afternoon section of a local rock climbing competition, so I volunteered to be an official for the morning section. I got to work with the youngest group of climbers, which was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of time on feet, before I then had to support my own daughter in the afternoon. So my run that day was on the treadmill at home, getting in whatever miles I could in the evening, trying to balance my desire for a high mileage week with the fact that I would be competing in my own race in just a handful of hours. Guys, I have made it to Camp Big Timber. I think we're in Gilbert, Illinois. It might be Elgin, about halfway from home. Gonna pick up my bib today for a snowy, river crossing laden cross-country race. Guys, I'm not sure what the temperature is today, but it is much colder than I was expecting. I might be a little bit underdressed, at least for the warm-up. Starting to warm up a little bit now, but whenever that wind picks up, it is cold.
I'm floating around 10 feet on the ground. I'm floating around 10 feet on the ground. I think you like it. I know I like it too. Yeah, I think you like it more than you ever wanted to. It's how I roll. A shooting star in a film noir. I'm floating around 10 feet on the ground.
Just hit that first lap, halfway through. Those creek crossings are momentum killers.
I know you like it. I think I like it too. Yeah, I know you like it more than you ever wanted to. I am no average Joe.
After the race, my feet were frozen blocks of ice. The race had recommended that everyone bring a change of shoes and socks for afterwards, which was great advice. They announced the winners and age group winners, which I was hoping to win my age group. But even though I managed a 14th place overall finish, I was only the 4th fastest dude in the 40 to 49-year-old category. So I've got work to do. I tried to remind myself that I had just run a 20 miler a couple days ago and that this was my highest mileage week in many, many years. But nothing can really make you feel unfit, like trying to stay at redline throughout a hilly, muddy, and watery cross-country course. I hated this race, and I can't wait to return again next year. After I got home, I took a nap and then had to take my daughter to rock climbing practice, where I got back on the treadmill to finish out my miles for the day and week. So that brings us to the end of week 8, and to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed at where I am at this point. The paces just aren't where I want them to be for my key long runs and sessions, but I'm trying to remind myself that this is some of the most mileage that I've run in a really long time, and I've run 2 of my highest mileage weeks in a row. So at least the paces that I'm running for those key workouts and sessions are slightly improving, or at least they're not getting worse underneath all of the mileage and intensity that I've been subjecting my body to. The thing that I'm kind of the most frustrated about though is that 8K race. I had a lot of fun doing that race, and it's very different than what I've been training, so kind of like race specific training has a lot to go into it, but I felt like I should have been able to run a little bit better than I did. I feel like even though I was running really hard, I just wasn't covering ground as fast as I thought I could have. And it was another one of those situations where I felt like I had all these strategies and visualizations to help me to cope and manage and get through some of the tougher parts of racing, but yet once the gun went off, I kind of forgot about all of it and I just limped my way to the finish line. So as I head into the final weeks of training for Valencia, I'm frustrated, but I'm still optimistic. My body is tired, but it's not wrecked. So the main thing that I want to focus on as I get into peak week and then start to think about the taper is that I just got to worry about landing the plane. I've got a couple of sessions left, a couple of long runs left, and I don't need them to be excellent. I don't need to hit home runs. I just need them to be good stimuluses for me as I get into the taper, so that way I can then absorb everything that I've been doing, and hopefully then things will be okay. But you'll have to hit the subscribe button to see where the next couple of weeks takes me as I get through peak week and into the taper, and then finally to race day.